Senior U.S. military officials are denying a New York Times report today that top U.S. commanders in Afghanistan are pushing to greatly expand special operations raids into Pakistan. That would be a big escalation of an unspoken war. Congresswoman Jane Harman serves the Homeland Security Committee and chairs the Intelligence Subcommittee and has traveled extensively in the region. Let's first of all just talk about this, because there is a New York Times lead story that military commanders are proposing this because of their continuing concerns that Pakistan has not stepped up to going into those tribal regions. Would it be a good idea to expand the ground raids, U.S. ground raids?
I'm not going to comment on any classified material, as you well know, Andrea, and NATO has denied that this will happen. It certainly would be a good idea for the Pakistanis to step up their raids on these terror safe havens in their own country, some of which are exactly next to the border with Afghanistan. And we know very well that the Haqqani network, for example, has highly trained fighters which go over the border and attack U.S. troops. And I think that this is a really dreadful situation, and we should step up the pressure on the Pakistanis who could be able to take care of this problem. I understand they just engaged in some new nuclear tests, so they have time to do that. They should have time to make it safe for Americans to make Afghanistan a stable country so that their arch enemy, India, doesn't occupy Afghanistan. That's what they think. That's not what we think will happen. But it is disappointing to see that while they have taken some steps, and yes, they did confront a biblical flood in their own country, they are not doing nearly enough to take out those Taliban's strongholds in their own country, which are launching attacks in Afghanistan.
And many experts believe that you're not going to win, if quote unquote win the war in Afghanistan, without doing something about Pakistan. That was the whole theory behind Richard Holbrooke's regional approach to the situation.
Richard Holbrooke, a great friend of ours, sadly died a week ago, and it seems to me that the 2 points he continued to make were the ongoing corruption of the Afghan government and the protection of some of these strongholds by the Pakistani government. And both of those things need still to be addressed. And certainly my hope is that the administration and the NATO strategy will be to reduce our combat role so that it ends by 2014 or sooner.
Now, Guantanamo, because new language was added to the defense authorization bill, I think without hearings or without a lot of notice, and this would tie the president's hands on any future civilian trials in the United States for Guantanamo detainees. How does that happen?
Well, I think it is possibly unconstitutional, and it surely is horrible policy. I was assured that some compromise language was in the defense bill. I got to the House floor to learn that at the very last minute, this awful language was reinserted in order to avoid a Republican procedural motion, which many people thought would pass. Sadly, we don't have a majority, or so I'm told, for sensible policy, which should be to use all of the tools in our toolkit and try these people in Article III federal courts, if appropriate. We have already convicted 400 people in Article III courts since 9/11, 150 people this year. We have an 89% convict rate, in contrast to military tribunals where we've only convicted 5 people and 2 of them have already been released. So just on the facts, we would do a better job of incarcerating terrorists, people convicted of terrorism crimes, related crimes, if we used Article III courts. And Congress, for some reason that I think is not related to the facts, has just taken this possibility away from the administration.
Jane Harman, thank you very much, and thanks for everything, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you, Andrea.
And as we return